Guluch was his father's name. They had a Purell station there in Bennington. And Alfred and I was about the same age, chasing around together. And the night, so Alfred got the job of taking the mail from the Bennington post office up on top of the hill at Bennington. And there was a old Cub aircraft come by and picked up the airmail and dropped off a bag of airmail every day. That's the first airmail in the country.
Where did they land?
Huh?
Where did they land?
They didn't land. They picked it up with a fly. Had two pulls over the top of the hill.
They had a hook where they hooked it.
Yeah. They had two pulls over the top of the hills there, just as you start down towards up there. In that turn there, Bennington, where that mill sawmill is.
Yeah.
Off to the left of that, up on top of that hill there on the left. That's where they picked up the mail and dropped the mail. Every day we go up to the post office, pick up a bag of mail, come down here and hang it on that old line between the two poles.
Yeah.
I don't remember now, maybe 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. That plane would come by, they'd drop a bag and fly by and pick up that, snare that rope between the, they had nickel hooks on each end of it. And if they missed it on picking it up, they'd circle, back, try again.
That'd be a pretty good pilot to do that.
And I was just a helper, which is two of them, one of them to pick up the mail and drop it, and then the pilot. But I was just helping my buddy, and of course he helped me on this film delivery.
Where's that new toy?
That was the first job. That was 1939.
What happened to the coal mines?
I never did get there. I remember I bought a pair of boots.
I'm tired of seeing that fly lay on.
And I don't know something else, but I was on the process of buying equipment that I needed to go in the coal mine. I never got there.
You end up caning cars.
Well, no, I went to work for Buick Handle Manufacturing. They had that mill there where Dingus has now on the corner. That's a pretty big operation. He had to, back in the 30s, he employed about 200 men altogether.
Really?
He had a big mill in Bennington. That was the main mill. He had one down in Elk City and one up in Mill Creek. And scattered all over. And people would go down there of a morning and ask him for a job. And he'd say, "Are you hungry?" And if they tell him yes, he'd say, "Well, go see so-and-so who's a foreman, you know. He'll find something for you to do." But he never had any money to pay you. But he'd give you, if you're married and had a family, he'd give you a grocery order or something like that to buy groceries. Well, I started that after this ordeal with the movies. I kept going down and said, "Well, down there, so far, you
might as well give up on him."
Kept going down every morning. One morning I went down there and no luck. He'd say, "Well, you come back tomorrow." That's why I tell everybody, come back tomorrow. I kept going back and forth, and one day he said, "Youngin," he said, "can you drive a truck?" Yeah. Okay, go ahead and give you a job. And what it was a Model A Ford truck. He had converted it to a wooden body on the back there and hauled me in back and forth to the job. Well, it took me out there and he showed me that old Model A Ford truck there. And they had about 15 men that hauled down the Valley Furnace. The job they had down there. When I took them down there, I unloaded them. Instead of driving a truck, they gave me a shovel and a mattock to build a truck road up the holler there, about 2 miles up the holler. The sawmill he's putting in there. That was the second job.
No,
that's the one. This all happened about the same era. I was still on the road and I called on a small construction company there at Green Bank. Robert Elliott, he and his brother had that thing. They really had an office in Charleston. It was the biggest part where they really operated out of, but they lived there in Green Bank. I called on for 2 or 3 years and I stayed in Durban on a Monday night when I called on the outfit down there around Green Bank. But anyway, this Monday night about 9 o'clock, I'd come back up to the tourist home there at Durban, started to go to bed, and the phone rang, and here was Bob Elliott on the phone. He said, "Simmy," he said, "I missed you today, or you missed me," and he said, "Hate to ask you this late in the night," he said, "to drive back down to Green Bank." That was about 15 or 20 miles from Durban down here on the old narrow road. I said, "That's all right, Bob." I thought maybe he had a pretty good order for me. So I went down. He said, I'm resigning, giving up the company business. He said, I'm going to work for a group of universities out of the northeastern part of the United States. I said, what? Yeah, he said, they hired me as manager of what they call associated universities. He said, they're going to put in an observatory up here back at Green Bank High School. He said, they want me to manage it. And I said, what? Yeah. He said, I'd like for you to open up an account with associated universities. And he kept on talking, and I thought, just a lot of hot air, you know. I thought, well, it must be something good, pretty good to give up his job in the construction business and take this thing on. He said, I got a little order for you. He gave me an order for 6 long-handled shovels, 6 axes, and 6 of these plastic storm window kits. You remember them old plastic?
Yeah.
39-cent storm window kits?
Yeah.
A dozen of those things. He said, we're going to open up an office up beside the Green Bank High School. Yeah, I said, I'll open up the account for you. I'll have the account opened up for you, Bob. That was the beginning of the associated universities. That was the first order, that, as far as I know, that they ever gave anybody. But, I mean, the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise
Later.
later. Unbelievable.
I got to see that big old dish down there about a week or so, a month or so before it fell down.
Well, the first one they put in there was what they call an 85-foot dish. That was the first one. And they kept trying to figure out how they could get the larger one to get up farther up in the atmosphere. Or well, maybe not the atmosphere, but way below, way beyond the blues. They talked to those scientists. It's unbelievable. I mean, I couldn't talk to them. Ordinary person couldn't talk to them. But anyway, they finally discovered they built that 300-foot one that didn't revolve. It was just stationary, but it was 300-foot in diameter. Then they got the idea that they could build one here, and on a certain level, a mile away, put another one that was equivalent of one dish that size. But then everything changed. These scientists was living over in Charlottesville and flying a little old plane over to Green Bank. They, of course, their wives wouldn't live in Green Bank. There's nothing there. And finally, they were talking light years. Mm-hmm. And then one day on television, they said, well, they found, they heard a noise from inner space, or they heard a voice from inner space. And I talked to them the next trip back over there, and they kind of laughed. They said, well, we heard some unusual noise, but we don't want one. But they talked in light years. Mm-hmm.